Good afternoon, everybody. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here today on behalf of Michelle and Rory on the very special occasion that we have today, the celebration of their marriage. They were keen that their wedding ceremony would be one that would be appropriate for them, while at the same time being a personal and memorable day for every one of you. And above all, they wanted all of you to feel very much part of this special occasion. They're also grateful that you travelled to be here from far afield and nearby. For those of you who don't know much about it, I would simply describe humanism as a way of looking at the world without having to take recourse to religion. In other words, whatever your faith, we don't need to look beyond ourselves to understand how to treat one another with compassion and integrity and respect. And a humanist is generally somebody who treats the world with respect and takes responsibility for their impact on their community, the world and the planet. And a humanist wedding ceremony is all about the couple. Today it's about Rory and about Michelle and the vows that they will make. Well, it's about Michelle, yeah. and the vows that they will make in front of you, the people they've hand-picked to be here on their special occasion. The vows that they will exchange will demonstrate their commitment, obviously not just for today, but for all of the future. And it's really important that we all understand that to be part of a couple's future is a real privilege. It's something that we're invited to be, to welcome them as a unity into our families, and then to share the future with them and help them through all the difficult times that they will experience. Not to say there will be that many, but isn't it amazing that we can be here on a special day like today? And your presence adds great significance, not just to today, but to all those days in the future when you're going to meet over a cup of tea or over a glass of wine or over a pint or over Skype or the phone or whatever. Those moments when you have a proper heart-to-heart and a head-to-head, and when you share really close moments. The very fact that you were here on this milestone in their lives will add great poignance to all of those days in the future. And they are very grateful for your support today and obviously in the past and also in the future. Now, for our first reading, can I ask Stephen Madden to come forward, please?
It's not a reading from St. Paul to the Romans, so that's what I asked for, but I read what they give me. It's called First Meeting by A.S.J. Tesmond. I've never heard of him either. When I first met you, I knew I had at last come home. Home after wandering, home after long puzzled searching, home after long being wind-borne, wave-tossed, night-caught, long being lost. And being with you as normal and needful and natural as sleeping or waking. And I was myself, who had never been wholly myself. I was walking and talking and laughing easily at last. And the air was softer, and sounds were sharper, and colours were brighter, and the sky was higher, and length was not measured by milestones, and time was not measured by clocks. And this end was a new beginning. And these words are the beginning of my thanks.
Could you all please give a warm welcome to our wonderful bride and groom, Rory and Michelle.
And it wasn't until I think Med Ball first met when he came up to me on the dance floor and said, "You have 10 seconds to decide, or to give me a good reason not to kiss you."
For those of you that said I was punching above my weight and that I asked to stay quiet until after the wedding, ha!
think, you know, you've probably improved me in more important ways. I'm probably more of the worrier of the two of us, whereas your optimism and enthusiasm has always meant that we did things. Like, you know, I said, oh, we couldn't stay in Australia second year. We'd never get good jobs when we come back. You know, I think we couldn't go to South America for 6 months. People would think we're dossing. We'll never get around to Iceland in a week, you know. We should not go to Cuba in the midst of our trip to South America. But you're always like, oh no, we could do it. And like, it meant that we had some of the, you know, best experiences of our lives. And I think that, you know, when you live with each other backpacking for 6 months and, you know, you enjoy each other's company at the end of it, it's probably a good sign. So I'm looking forward to the next 10 ambitious years together. I don't know where it's going to bring us, and I love you and I'm very excited to be married today.
Cian mentioned it in a ceremony earlier that it's important that you have someone that you can enjoy all the highs with, and today I would describe as a high, but when you have the lows, Michelle makes them a lot easier to deal with through how she is and how she responds to situations. So really my life, I think, going forward will be just so much easier having you at my side.
Nobody crying, Michelle.
No crying out?
Not yet.
No, do it.
They're both funny. Stairs to the left. Please don't fall off.
I'm ready. Hey, be careful. We're ready.
I'm just.
Whole place is great.
Could I ask you, please, to be upstanding for the arrival of the bride? Michelle and Rory, you have freely consented to join your lives. You've pledged yourself to each other by the exchanging of vows and of rings. And in the presence of everybody gathered here with you now, I'm delighted to pronounce you husband and wife.